Evolution and DNA, etc. DNA and other informational parts of the living cell, I will refer to these as DNA, etc., have very specific functions. Scientists are still trying to determine what all of these parts of the cell, especially the DNA, actually do and how they do it. Among the many functions that DNA, etc. perform is to restrict the amount of change that can occur within a creature or organism. So one of the key functions of DNA, etc., is to make sure that something like evolution never occurs. Now, what do I mean? Let's look at dogs or canines. There's been hundreds of millions of dollars invested into breeding dogs. There are two things that we immediately observe about this breeding. Number one, there are huge differences between some of the dogs. For instance, if you look at a toy poodle and then look at let's say a Saint Bernard, you would see huge amounts of difference. But number two, they are all still canines. With all of the work that has been done in this area with dogs and plants and other animals, nothing has ever jumped its barrier, so to speak, and become another kind of creature. Well, why? Because DNA, etc., simply does not allow it. It is similar to the guardrails of a highway. There may be a lot of room in between the rails, but crashing outside of them is not allowed. It brings death in the case of organisms and creatures. There is always a limit to the amount of variance or change that is allowed by the DNA, etc. Now, this restriction is the fact that makes the idea of evolution simply impossible. In other words, the discovery of DNA should have been the final nail in the coffin of evolution. Earlier, we looked at the fact that the fossil record does not give us any of the in-between fossils that would give credence to the theory of evolution. DNA, etc., is the reason that we do not find this evidence. Darwin had no idea that DNA, or the other parts of the cell, existed within a living cell to completely thwart any chance of evolution. Scientists today do not have the luxury of using that excuse. For more information, go to evosecrets.com.